us from there. So we'll move on and I'll tell you just a wee bit more. So that was me. I told you a bit about myself, where I'd come from, worked at a higher education institution, and I was part of my role was a facilitator for RPL and helping identify candidates who I thought would be appropriate for RPL claims. If any of you are on Twitter at the moment and you want to send out a short tweet about today's session, please feel free and put myself in, QAA, and we have a hashtag that we use. It's called RPL Matters. That's our hashtag that we use about all things RPL. So as I say, for the last 4 years, for the sake of the recording, I've worked at the SCQF Partnership as a development officer, and part of my role here is working with RPL and all the different projects and all the different resources that we have developed to supplement and help the RPL processes in Scotland. And as Alison said, we have I've been working closely with colleagues across the sector to develop the new recognition of prior learning framework for Scotland that was published in November of last year. So the first slide that I have is really just about the aims of the workshop. So the next slide, as I say, it's going to be a very, very interactive session. I've got a couple of breakout rooms where I'm looking for you to do all the work. And this is really a chance for you to build your confidence in the things that you're already doing and find out from colleagues within the sector, and interestingly today from other sectors, what they are doing, and just so you can feel confident that you're doing the right thing and maybe pick up hints and tips from other people that you can take back to your institution. So that's really the aims of today's workshop. So on the next slide, I'm going to show you basically the definition of RPL that has been adopted by QAA for the new framework. And it's really about that whole process of learning. And we always say at SCQF that everyone has learning, everyone has prior learning, but also if you click the next button, it comes up with a section that says it's that whole process of reflecting on experiences and identifying learning, and it only becomes with recognition of prior learning when a learner actually does something with it. So they actually take their prior learning and either use it in a formative or a summative way to do something different with their career, whether that's to gain SCQF credit for a programme of entry, to gain advanced entry, or possibly just for in a formative way when they're looking to sort of develop confidence and maybe build on a CV. So I'll move on to the next slide, and this is really just, this is something that we do in our workshops, and people always think this is really easy. And we ask people to identify if they can match up formal, non-formal and informal learning. Informal is the easy one to spot, but non-formal and informal are very, very close. And these were terms that were adopted from the European Commission, and terms that still get used in most qualification frameworks throughout the world. So if anyone would like to, please put up your hand and tell us, or unmute and tell us which one you think is which. And if not, we'll just put you out your misery and give you the answer. So if I have any willing volunteers, please speak now. You'd be more than welcome. No one's willing to put their head above the parapet. That's absolutely fine and to be expected. So if you click on the next button, Alison, it will give you the answers. So formal is a structured, organised learning, and non-formal is the next one, and that's outside formal settings, but through planned activities, i.e. if you've done a works programme of training or an in-house programme. And informal is that learning that everyone gets through unintentionally through life and work experiences, whether you're caring for a relative, bringing up a family, balancing the monthly budget that we're all having to do this while with the new things that are happening in the world. And basically what we're going to look at today is recognition of prior learning for all of these three things. And you wonder, why are we bringing formal in here? And the reason we bring formal in here is, As you know, the framework in Scotland is voluntary and not all programmes are credit rated. So quite often learners will come to you with lots and lots of learning that doesn't have an SCQF credit or value, but they may be looking for something that they can use towards a credit rated programme. So one of the tools I would like to draw your attention to, and it's a very, very short video, and it's an online toolkit on our website that takes you through all that. And hopefully Alison's going to play a short video that will tell you a wee bit about where this is in the website. Now, can you hear this? No, see, this worked for us in the test. Okay, so if you stop the video, Alison, I'll just explain what it is. So if you go to the front page of our website, it's that box at the bottom says RPL and it says use the tool. In fact, if you keep playing, I'll talk through it, Alison, that's maybe better. Keep playing, I'll just talk through the video. So if you click on use the tool, and then it gives you, there's some videos and some things around it. So there's 3 different sections. So probably you as an educator would go to that first one, but it gives you all different scenarios of types of learning and types of situations where a learner may come from and the outcome that they might expect from that. And if you tick on these and tick on the get results, it gives you a list of the scenario, the outcome, and all the different things that you could come from that. Now, automatically, the system will take you to as if you're a learner. So if you go back out and you'll see there is a wee bottom at the bottom, a tick box at the bottom that says, I'm assisting a learner. And if you were to tick that, I am supporting a learner, it will basically give you the same answers in the basis as if you are speaking to a learner. So it will help you as a facilitator to talk through the processes. And I know there's someone in the group here today who was on this the steering group that helped develop that for us. And that is something that's continually updated and continually improved upon. And there are a few videos on our website of different people who have gone through RPL claims, and they're really quite inspiring videos for you to look at. And that's the video that's there that we had part of our presentation today. So we'll move on to the next section of the presentation of today's workshop. And this is when we are going to put you into a couple of breakout rooms. And basically a short activity. And I'll wait till Alison catches up with me, because sometimes it's a wee bit tricky to move on once you've tried to play a video. It can be a wee bit tricky to move on. But basically, the next section we're going to move you on to is a short activity about what makes a good claim for recognition of prior learning. So what would you be looking for if someone was to make a submission to you for RPL? Now, I can chat you through this, and we'll have the presentation all ready to go when we come back from our session. But there's the sort of thing. So what would you like to see included if someone was making a claim for RPL? And we're going to split you into breakout rooms, and we're going to give you 10 minutes approximately for you to go and work in your groups. And by the numbers we've got today, we maybe get 3 or 4 breakout rooms. Alison and I will pop in maybe halfway through just to see how you're getting on with the task. But basically, we're looking for a sort of short idea of what you would expect to see from a candidate making a claim for recognition of prior learning. And then when you come back, if someone from within the group would just be happy to give us just a couple of bullet points from your group and things that you've learned. And then we can also have a small chat for about 5 minutes about that. So Alison.